How's it going, Tom?
Good, how are you? How's everything?
Good, good.
You can get Bob and John.
Right? Yeah, right.
I don't know that there's it's the spies, three of us. Ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to give 5 minutes or so as some people are gathering who are waiting out on Hendrickson and at some of the other locations to get back to us here. So we're just going to give it a few minutes as for coming down and just mention a couple of brief things about this morning's events. For the last couple of months, the village has been working diligently to try and receive an artifact from the World Trade Center tragedy 10 years ago. Quite obviously, it's here before us. We went down to Kennedy Airport this morning to the hangar, waited for the pickup with the assistance of numerous groups. We loaded the artifact on, made our way through town, 2 arches, an arch as we entered the village, another arch just past fire headquarters to bring us where we are this afternoon. We do have a little bit of a brief ceremony that I'd like to begin. What I first would like to do is call up Reverend Casey Jones for the opening remarks. Reverend?
Good morning. Please join me in a litany of remembrance and hope by responding, "We remember you." As we gather around this solemn artifact, we remember all those who suffered and died on September 11th in New York, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. Please respond, "We remember you," at the appropriate time. We remember the office workers, maintenance workers, window washers, bystanders, and all the others who worked together so valiantly to help each other. We can say together, "We remember you." We recall the firefighters who rushed upstairs as most were racing out. We can say, "We remember you." When we recall the police officers who stood to protect and defend the people and performed their duties until the towers came down on top of them, we can say, "We remember you." When we recall the thousands of workers, women and men, old and young, single and married, American-born and born in other countries around the world, who did not escape the buildings, we can say, "We remember you." When we recall those citizens who missed showed up to help and did all they could do to help, we can say together, we remember you. We remember great courage, selfless service, and sacrifice for the safety of others, the loss of human life, and we give thanks for dutiful commitment to those in distress. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Reverend. With me here this morning, I have Trustee Dermond Thomas, Village Justice Bob Bogle, Trustee John Tuffarelli. At this time, I'm going to ask that they place a wreath from the village commemorating this event. I would also like to ask Chief Beck and officers and members of the Valley Stream Fire Department to also place a wreath this morning. And in honor of the victims' families and survivors of that day, I'm going to ask Public Safety to place a wreath in honor of those this afternoon. How could we ever dream that the towers and over 3,000 lives would be lost, and that one day an artifact such as this would rest here to permanently memorialize all of the victims, survivors, and those once tall, great structures that were brutally attacked 10 years ago? I am overcome with sadness and pride all at the very same time. So saddened by the misery that was thrust upon so many people that day, yet so proud of the bravery shown on that day and the resilience shown by Americans since that day. As we accept this very visible, very physical reminder of the terrorist attacks that forever changed the lives of so many people, as well as this country, we must pause and reflect on the healing that takes place. Things will never be the same, but we remember each and every person who perished on that morning, as well as those who have suffered so greatly since that day. Never in a million years did I think that we would have a piece of the Twin Towers here in Valley Stream. Like so many of you, my family and I visited the World Trade Center many times, took photographs there, had dinner there, rode the elevator to the top, had our breath taken away by the man-made beauty of a great city and a view that went on forever. Although the towers are no longer standing, they will continue to stand as a symbol of the American spirit and continue to be remembered right here in our hometown, the village of Valley Stream. May this artifact be displayed here with great honor for many future generations to come. At this time, I would also like to acknowledge we do have a family member with us. I believe Mr. Thompson is here. Mr. Thompson, I believe he lost his son on that fateful day. And with us and with everyone here in the village, you have our continued sympathy and remembrance. At this time, I would like to call up Rabbi Goldschmidt to conclude our program. Rabbi?
Good morning. The Talmud is telling us a story. A man walked in the forest. As he goes into the woods, he found an open place. And in that open place, he realized there is a huge, big, beautiful, magnificent palace. He thinks to himself, who built this palace in here in the middle of the woods? Then he continued to look at the palace. He sees that the palace is actually going on fire. There is fire coming at the palace. And he thinks to himself, this person built the palace. He wants probably to take care of it, and here the palace is going on fire. He's wondering what's happening here. Then that king that built the palace looks from the window and look at the person and says, here I am. The person is asking him, didn't you build it for a reason? Don't you see it's going on fire? The king is turning to the man and says, yes, I did, and I know, and this is your job to put out the fire. You know, we are in the God's beautiful world, and sometimes we see the world in a way goes on fire. God is looking from high and looking down at us and says, guys, this is your job to put out the fire. May this memorial be a reminder to us that although we are in the middle of the fire, yeah, it's our job and we'll do our best to put it out. Thank you. Have a great day. God bless you all. Thanks.
Thank you very much, everyone, for your attention. Feel free if you'd like to come over and see the artifact. And hopefully on September 11th, Sunday morning, we'll see you again. Thank you.